Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sleeping Stories channel. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe. Hey guys, tonight we are wandering into the dust and sun of ancient Persia, where the road beneath your sandals stretches farther than your eyes or your patience could ever follow. You're stepping onto the royal road, the backbone of communication across the Achaemenid Empire, once described as faster than the wings of birds. The stones are hot, the horizon is endless, and if you want shade, you might have to bargain with a passing camel for a corner of its shadow. You probably won't survive this trek, but at least you'll fall asleep before you notice. Before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy what I do here. And if you're still awake, drop a comment with your location and what time it is where you are. I love seeing how scattered this little sleepy community has become. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey. You walk along the broad stretch of road, stones pressed into place by workers who never imagined their handiwork would outlast empires. The Royal Road runs about 1,700 miles, linking Susa to Sardis, two names that sound like a trendy cafe menu, though there's no cappuccino at either end. It's wide enough for horses, couriers, carts, and the occasional wandering philosopher muttering about dust. The Persians didn't invent roads, they perfected them. The Assyrians tried, the Babylonians dabbled, but the Achaemenids made a true network. Historians debate whether engineers followed old caravan routes or carved new ones. You don't care. You're too busy noticing how straight it is, as if some surveyor trusted rulers more than rivers. This road wasn't built for tourists or traders. It was for messages. Couriers carried the empire's heartbeat, from satrapy to satrapy, covering the whole length in about 7 days, something you'd never manage, unless strapped to a horse with a caffeine addiction. Sand seeps between your toes, and you wonder about paving your driveway with these stones, until you remember hauling granite in 110-degree heat is less of a DIY project and more of a show called Extreme Ancient Homeowners. Milestones carry faint inscriptions, not poetry, but directions and distances. The plainness feels comforting, like a sleepy GPS whispering, "Continue straight for 400 stades." Your senses adjust to the rhythm, crunching stones, the blue vault above, the smell of dust, camel leather, maybe roasted onions somewhere. You think about the languages this road has heard: Old Persian, Elamite, Aramaic, Greek, and the occasional donkey complaint. A multilingual highway before airports. But it wasn't free to wander. There were checkpoints, tolls, even forts. Think of a rest stop, but instead of coffee and Wi-Fi, a stern soldier asks why your sandals look too new. Oddly reassuring, it shows the empire took travel seriously enough to charge you. How did they build such a colossal system without modern tools? Some say local governors managed sections. Others think a royal office oversaw it with scrolls and scribes. The truth is buried in speculation, like the sandal you lost 2 miles back. As night edges into day, or maybe it's just your eyelids, the road hums. Couriers urging horses, traders bargaining, priests chanting. Not music, but movement. Your stride slows, shoulders sag, eyelids blur horizon with pillow. The royal road stretches on, a ribbon across time. You're only just setting out. The empire will wait. The road comes alive with riders. The first one rattles the stones like a drum roll. A courier in a cloud of dust, clutching a sealed tablet, vanishes forward as if pulled by strings. He wouldn't have slowed for you even if you stood like a milestone. This was the brilliance. Relays. No rider covered the whole 1,700 miles. Stations every 15 to 20 miles had fresh horses, tended by bleary-eyed grooms cursed awake at 3 a.m. The handoff was instant. The message never paused. Blink and you'd miss it. Herodotus praised this system, saying nothing on Earth traveled faster. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor darkness. The very phrase later adopted by modern postal services. Next time you see it on a post office wall, remember Persia. Couriers carried royal decrees, but also barley quotas, tax reports, even birthday reminders. Imagine sprinting across Anatolia with, "Don't forget to water the pomegranates." But every message mattered. Small oversights rippled into chaos. You wonder how they stopped couriers from peeking inside. Maybe harsh punishments, maybe pride in serving the great king, or the threat of dung duty in royal stables. Imagine yourself as a courier, thighs of iron, bladder of steel, stomach of dried figs. Not glamorous, but essential. Messages outlived you, weaving sweat into history. The smell of horsehair and leather drifts by. A boy with saddles eyes you suspiciously. You wave, he scowls, timeless awkwardness of being the outsider. Logistics mattered. Horses bred for endurance, fodder stored at intervals, staff maintaining gear, a living conveyor belt. A line of horses from Susa to Sardis, like an equine escalator carrying words. The empire a breathing organism, riders as blood cells. Picture sending a complaint. The rug arrived with uneven tassels. By the time the reply returns, you've died of old age. Not the fastest feedback loop, but faster than your neighbor's pigeon. The sun tilts west, another rider blazes past. You don't see his face, just dust. That was the point. You are the message, not the messenger. Efficiency, not heroics. Strangely comforting. Your eyelids grow heavier, hoofbeats turn into lullaby. Thud, 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 blending with your heartbeat. The riders never stop. Neither does your drowsiness. You shuffle along the dusty road until a low structure comes into view, mud brick walls softened by fading light. This is no palace, no temple, just a squat building with a courtyard, a well, and the smell of dates drifting from a clay jar. You've reached one of the satrap stations, the backbone of the Persian postal relay. To you, it looks like a roadside inn. The floor your mattress, the ceiling cracked, the food suspiciously lukewarm. But to a courier after 20 miles at full speed, this is paradise. Inside, soldiers, scribes, and travelers mingle like mismatched laundry. The satrap's garrison keeps order, leaning on spears, armor clinking softly. They look bored, but alert enough to notice when a foreigner like you stumbles in. A scribe tallies supplies, fodder, jars of barley, bundles of papyrus. His handwriting neat, as if he knows archaeologists one day will puzzle over why 2 baskets of dried figs mattered to an empire. The mainstream fact: satrap stations were built at regular intervals, offering water, food, shelter, and fresh horses. Not luxurious, but standardized. Think ancient chain motels with loyalty points redeemable only in stale bread. The quirky tidbit: stations doubled as gossip hubs. By your first sip of watered wine, you've overheard 3 scandals. A satrap's wife ordering sandalwood from India, a Babylonian potter cheating on taxes, and someone swearing they saw a camel painted blue near Persepolis. Truth doesn't matter. The road carries rumors as faithfully as decrees. You lean against the cool brick wall and watch daily life unfold. A cook pours lentil stew into chipped bowls, earthy and comforting. Soldiers shovel chickpeas silently, too tired for talk. A child chases a goat through the courtyard, laughter piercing the heavy air. While couriers blaze past, life at the stations pulses steadily, like the empire's hidden heartbeat. Historians still debate whether these stations were meant only for official use or if they evolved into hubs for traders and travelers. Some say the great king disliked outsiders freeloading. Others think the stations became informal markets. The truth is dusty and uncertain. Tonight, you're here, and the scribe doesn't mind, so long as you don't steal his ink. You sit with a bowl of stew. It tastes fine. Too much salt, not enough herbs, but filling. Someone nudges you. Better than chewing your sandals. You nod politely, though you think your sandals might taste the same. A joke. If this is the empire's version of room service, pray the great king never opens a hotel chain. Night falls. A fire glows in the courtyard, shadows dancing on walls. Soldiers afoot, murmurs mix with the howls of jackals. You realize how strange it is to be in the middle of nowhere, yet not alone. The satrap's network ensures the road is never empty. Someone always waits with food, water, or at least a raised eyebrow. You stretch your legs, listening to small sounds, the creak of wheels, the crunch of straw, the slurp of stew. Not glamorous, but steady, reliable. Each station a bead on a necklace, strung until they span an empire. By the fire, warmth seeps into your bones and drowsiness creeps in. The satrap station hums with its rhythm, food, gossip, sleep, and the thunder of passing couriers. You close your eyes. The road stretches forever, patient and waiting. Morning slips in through wall cracks. You find yourself back on the road, walking in half dream, body moving, brain pressing snooze. The air is cooler, sweet with dust and distant fig trees. Light sharpens, and you feel it, someone watching. Not the innkeeper eyeing stew. Subtler, quieter, a shadow that doesn't belong. Welcome to the gaze of the king's eye. The empire's postal system was not just couriers and horses. Layered into it were inspectors, spies, invisible accountants of loyalty. They traveled the same roads, disguised as writers or scribes, reporting on satraps, skimming taxes, ignoring decrees, growing too powerful. If caught, the king's eye blinked, and trouble followed faster than an awkward annual review. The mainstream fact: Herodotus called them the king's eyes and ears, a catchy phrase like empire marketing on clay billboards. We see, we hear, we know. They were the secret glue holding the empire, keeping governors in line. The quirky tidbit: inspectors sometimes left coded marks on milestones or walls. Notches, scratches, silent signals, all is well, or fodder's missing again. You run your fingers on a stone, swear you feel one, though maybe it's just erosion or imagination. Historians argue, was the king's eye truly everywhere, or was it psychological theater? Some say few inspectors existed, the real power lying in fear, like the earliest version of this call may be monitored for quality assurance. You glance back at a shepherd. Inspector? Or just a man with disciplined sheep? You walk on. At a tree, a man in plain clothes sips water. He nods politely, too politely. His gaze lingers, measuring your stride, counting figs, or just wondering why you've been talking to yourself for 3 sections straight? You'll never know. That's the beauty and the curse. You feel it even when you can't prove it. Here's a joke. Imagine the inspector whose entire report is 10 scrolls of nothing happened again. The ancient version of replying noted to every email. The watchers blend into the road itself. A stable boy noticing who takes extra water. A garrison soldier tallying travelers. An innkeeper remembering how you held your bowl. You can't pinpoint them, but they're there. The system works. Couriers deliver, stations provide, inspectors ensure loyalty. Together, not just communication but surveillance. Empire building disguised as hospitality. The road doesn't just carry you forward, it carries eyes backward to the throne. Now the sun is high. The road glitters like the empire, inviting, intimidating. You keep walking. The horizon is empty, but you feel less alone. The king's eye is with you, quiet, steady, oddly reassuring, like a bedtime story where Big Brother tucks you in